Assalamu alaikum friends, this is Mohammed Aqeel. My topic is, do violent video games encourages player to become more violent? So violent video games cause mental disturbance in people, especially in the children. According to observation, violent video games makes people habitual and diverts their concentration from their purposeful working meetings, and it also affects children's school performance. On the other hand, people also learn obsessive language and violent behavior from these violent video games, which disturbs humans' mental status. Recent content analysis of the video game shows that as many as 89% of games contain some violent content, which include serious violent actions towards other game characters. Violent video games also cause psychosocial problems. Firstly, when one plays these games, interaction with the family is reduced, which makes people psychosocially isolated. Secondly, people take these games as the role model and behave like the character, which leads to the aggressive behavioral, uh, obsessive language, and other behavioral problems. Researchers suggest that playing violent video games show increased aggressive behavior, which leads to the aggressive responses in player. Children are especially at the risk of experiencing the long-term psychosocial effect produced through exposure to violent video games due to the age factor. Undoubtedly, there are many people who are in favor of violent video games, but according to my point of view, I counter argue that there is no sufficient data available to validate this claim that children who are playing video games are on rise, but there is vast data available on the negative consequences of violent video games. The negative impact of violent video games is evident in many platforms. Most of the people adopt the behavior of the character which they see in the video games and act like them. In addition, researchers also prove that violent video games cause negative consequences in people's life and not just affect their physical health but also mental and psychosocial. In conclusion, it is true that violent video games are harmful in many ways. I want to recommend that it is important to aware parents and children about the negative consequences of video games. Secondly, parents should check the content of the video games to prevent child from different negative effects. And the amount of time people spend on playing video games should also be monitored. Thirdly, it is very essential to introduce the technology to the children at the appropriate age uh, and with appropriate way. And it's the time to take action and stop the negative consequences of violent video games, which are physical, mental, and psychosocial. Thank you.